Okay, this is a video of my friend Therese Uddmar. She works at Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and we used to work together for several years, and she has agreed to give us an interview. She is Swedish, and her family's Swedish for generations, and she's agreed to give us an interview about the questions that you had about Sweden. So thank you, Therese, for agreeing to talk with the girls. So the first question that they wanted to know is, were you a Girl Scout when you were growing up, or a Girl Guide?
I actually was a Girl Scout. I don't remember exactly how old I was when I was a Girl Scout and for how many years I did it.
Yeah.
But I want to say like 2 or 3 years I was a Girl Scout.
Awesome. So tell us about some of the activities that you guys did growing up.
So I'm from Gothenburg, so here's a map. So I'm from the west coast. I'm over here, so I'm kind of in the southern part of Sweden.
Okay.
But it's still a very cold country. So we did a lot of skiing in the wintertime, skating. They used to ice down our football field, and we would skate on that on our breaks.
Oh, cool.
And then in the summertime, my father is actually from up the coast, about an hour from a small town called Grundsund. And we would go there in the summertime and do a lot of boating in the archipelago. Sweden is known for its archipelago, especially on the west side, on the western side of the country. A lot of islands everywhere. So we did a lot of boating.
And a lot of people have like summer houses or summer cabins or
yes,
stuff, right?
It's quite common.
Yeah.
So my family had a summer house up here on the coast, and then my grandparents had more inland on a lake, and they built. They had 3 properties on that on their land, and then we could go there to my grandparents on my mother's side, and my grandfather would take us out boating and buy us ice cream, and so I lived a very, very nice life growing up. I can say I had a very good childhood.
I was just an aside. I just saw a thing on Facebook that came through about the 10 happiest places to live, and they were all like Sweden, Norway,
Denmark.
Finland. They were all around there. I was like, what is it around there? That
I think
what's the secret?
I think part of it is when they talk about it, is that you can actually choose what you want to do. There's not that much implication on your finances, so people choose to a large extent from what they're interested in. Maybe not so driven by money, and also a fairly good social system. So, for example, if you're in Sweden and you have a baby, you get 480 days off, of which the father has to take 90.
Oh, wow.
So that's a year off for every child that you have.
Wow.
And then you get subsidies for your children from the government to help pay for them. So it makes, and low crime, well, has been at least up until maybe the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So pretty easy life to live, and people don't work as many hours as here.
Yeah.
They work maybe not even 40 hours a week.
Wow.
So a lot of family time and a lot of it's less stressful. I
So
would
why
say.
did you move here?
Good question. Let's move on.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what was the weather like where you grew up?
The weather. We have a very long country. You can see here, it's actually about 1,000 miles. If you flipped it over, it would reach all the way down to Africa.
Wow.
And the Arctic Circle is somewhere in the middle. So it depends where you are. Now, no matter where you are in Sweden, you are more likely to see snow and ice in the wintertime, no matter where you are. But if you're up in the very north, you have to think the North Pole is up here. It is very cold. And I looked it up, and the coldest measured temperature in Sweden is minus 63 Fahrenheit.
Oh my
And the highest
gosh.
was 100. So a very big variety of temperatures.
Right.
So it depends a little bit where you are. But there are 4 seasons everywhere.
Yeah.
But colder in the north,
Right.
less cold in the south. Probably like growing up on the East Coast here.
Yeah.
I would say Maine or maybe New York, even something like that. And we have the midnight sun. So up in the very north, they have something like 56 consecutive days of daylight with no night at all. And in the wintertime, they have 32 days of no daylight. Where I'm from here in the further down south, it's gradual. So when you are raised there, you don't think about it. But we have maybe only 3-4 hours in the wintertime of daylight. And it's not really even sunshine, it's just sort of like dusky. And then the sun goes down again. So
Really?
dark for a long time.
Oh, wow.
But if you're born there, that's all you know. So it's not so strange.
Yeah. Huh. And how do you sleep? Does ever in the summertime when you have all the daylight, do
Most
they have
people
like the blackout shades?
yeah, blackout shades, yes. It's confusing if you come from here and have jet lag because it's really hot. When you live there, remember it's gradual.
Right.
It goes around the whole year like this, so it's not so strange when you live there and you're used to going to bed with the daylight outside.
Yeah.
But if you come from here, it's quite strange.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. What about sports? What are the most common or most popular sports?
Well, I think in Sweden, just like all the other nations except for the United States, soccer is huge. And we have a very popular soccer player named Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which is known worldwide. So soccer is very big. Winter sports are big. Anything skiing. We have a lot of ski stars that win in the Olympics and so forth. Cross country, downhill, anything sort of winter sports related. We also have a lot of good tennis players. We have Björn Borg, we had Stefan Edberg. We've had a lot of really great tennis players throughout the years, which is somewhat odd considering the weather. But I would say soccer is the biggest, followed by, I think like here, some people are swimmers, swimming is popular. We can say not so many outdoor activities like baseball and basketball. More indoor.
Yeah.
Hockey is super popular.
Oh yeah.
Hockey is big.
Probably, like you said, a lot similar to like some of the places in the north here, you know.
Well, if you go to Colorado, you're going to see a lot more like ice skating rinks and downhill skiing than you will in Houston. So it's a different, it's kind of probably pretty similar.
Yeah. Okay, the one big question that they wanted to know is they had read that that they pay you to go to school there. So do you know anything about that?
I don't know exactly what the current system is because it's been many years since I lived in Sweden, but definitely education is subsidized, so you're not, and it's the same all over the country, so it's not like certain schools are more expensive than others. You do get subsidies to live on, so you can call it kind of a salary, I guess, and then you also get to take student loans. But you don't, by no means, like live very well off what they give you. It's just a minimal amount so that you can live, basically.
Okay. Tell us about like some of the food that's popular in Sweden.
Okay, so probably the most popular food in Sweden, and there's a lot of it. And again, it's very regional, just like it is here. It is a big country. But meatballs, of course, Swedish meatballs. You eat them with lingonberries. If you never had it, you can go to IKEA. They're not as good as like I make, but they're decent. Pyttipanna, it means literally small things in a pan. These are small pieces of various meats. It could be mushrooms if you like them, or onions and potatoes. And you stir fry it and you serve it with an egg on top. It's called pyttipanna. So that's pyttipanna. And of course, we eat a lot of. What else do we have on here? Oh, this is a great invention. It's a sandwich cakes, and what it is, and they come in various varieties, but it's layers of bread with all kinds of cold cuts in between. And it's just, and then they decorate them real nice. And if they sit for a day, they're even better. And they are delicious. I don't even know why they don't have it in this country because they are so good.
Wow.
And it's quite common at parties and things that people have that as to serve. Like during the daytime, they would have a big smörgåstårta. You heard smörgåsbord here. Smörgås is an open face sandwich, name for it. But this is a cake like that.
I've read that you guys eat, it's common to eat sandwiches like for breakfast and stuff there. Like open face.
That's what I still eat to this day. I eat bread with ham or some cheese on it, yes. Then we have a wonderful dessert called princess cake. And it has whipping cream and raspberries and pound cake, and then it has a marzipan lid. And it is out of this world. It is really, really fantastic. Of course, I'm from the West Coast, so we grew up on a lot of seafood. So pickled herring. There's a dish called Johnson's Temptation, which is potatoes au gratin with some little anchovies in it, but not the anchovies like you think about here, which is real salty, but the Swedish kind that is more almost fresh. Sweet. So it's actually delicious. Everybody likes it, and if you tell them what's in it, nobody believes it because you can't really tell.
Right.
And of course, gravlax. You've heard of that? That is basically cured salmon that hasn't been cooked but cured instead.
In gravlax, is it cured with salt or sugar, or it's both,
both,
right?
both.
Okay.
And it's just basically, it's almost like ceviche. Same thing. It cooks, but it doesn't cook by temperature.
Yeah.
It cooks by the acids and the other things that you put on it.
Okay.
Smorgasbord, very popular, especially at Christmas. I think every home in Sweden will have a smorgasbord for Christmas, which is various dishes. It could vary locally. This is something called a spettekaka. This is a dessert. It's from the southern part of Sweden. I don't even know that I even ever had it, but I know what it is. It's very popular. Crayfish.
Yeah, crawfish.
Kind of. And
Are they
have
the same as crawfish here?
They are not exactly the same. These they're pictured here are from a lake. If you can get them from the ocean, they are even better. That is my favorite thing in the whole wide world to eat, is from the ocean crawfish. They look like a shrimp, but the size is between a shrimp and a lobster, and they're like salmon colored, and they are delicious. I love those. And then, of course, we have the knäckebröd, like a Vasabröd. You can buy it in the stores here, or that IKEA.
Like a cracker kind of bread?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's real good, high fiber. And then last but not least, we have a lot of reindeer.
Yeah.
And up in the northern part of Sweden, they eat a lot of reindeer and they eat a lot of moose. And I can tell you that moose is delicious. It's the best meat you can eat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like here we eat deer. You know, we have people go hunting and we eat deer steak and sausage and stuff like that. Or
Because
even
they
bison.
have between 300,000 and 400,000 moose in Sweden, and every year it's very organized. The king actually leads it, and they have a moose hunt, and they kill off about 100,000. But they have to. It's very dangerous with moose. You know, I myself have been in an accident with moose.
Really?
Many people I know have been in accidents. They're very dangerous. They have long legs. They stand in the forest and they walk out, and you think it's trees rather than it's legs, and they walk out in front of your car, and people die from it. I mean, it's like hitting a brick wall if you have a high speed. So they have to, and you know when it gets
You had a car wreck with one?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
and when they get overpopulated, that's when they start moving into new areas where they really shouldn't be, like roads, for example. But food is delicious in Sweden, and there's a lot of varieties depending on where you are in the country. And there's another thing that's popular on Thursdays. They eat something called split pea soup, followed by Swedish pancakes, which are kind of like a crepe that they eat with the jam. But yeah, all kinds of foods.
Have you ever, are you familiar with Swedish chocolate balls? They're like little balls that you roll in coconut?
Well, you roll them actually in pearl sugar.
Oh.
You might have had them because I brought them here several times.
I don't think so, but the recipe we found, we were going to make them because we have to make some for our...
I can give you a recipe, and I can give you some pearl sugar, because rolling them in coconut, that would not be the right thing to do.
No?
No.
That's so weird. All the recipes I found, that's
Because
what they
pearl
say to
sugar is
do.
not readily available here.
What's
That's
it
why.
called?
Pearl sugar. Have you heard of like rock salt?
Yeah.
This is like rock sugar.
Oh.
You roll it in. But I have a great recipe, super easy. You don't have to cook them. They just...
Well, we have to make a bunch of them though. We have to make like 200 or something.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Okay.
I do it all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to get the recipe. Thank you. Okay. So you mentioned when you were talking about the moose hunt that it's led by the king. So,
Yes.
So Sweden has a king and a queen?
Sweden has a king and a queen. Sweden is a monarchy. The king doesn't have a lot of power, so to speak. He's a figurehead, more or less. This is a fairly recent picture taken of the Swedish royal family at their family vacation home.
They look just like normal people.
At the island of Öland, which is at the very south. Sweden have two large islands on the Baltic Sea, in between Sweden and Finland, called Öland and Gotland.
Okay.
And this is from Öland. They had the king and the queen. The queen is of German descent. Her name is Queen Sylvia. And the king's name is King Carl Gustaf XVI. He was born a king. He was born a prince, but he was the one that had the royal lineage. Between them, they have had 3 children. The oldest one is Crown Prince Victoria. She's married to Prince Daniel, and they have 2 children, Prince Estelle and Prince Oscar.
Okay.
Second child was Princess Madeleine. She's married to Mr. Chris O'Neill. He is not a prince. He elected not to be. They have 2 children, Prince Nicholas and